Hello YouTube, Beanie from the bedroom here, your guitar junkie. And what do we have in store for you today? Are all cars the same? Are all guitars the same? Is a Volkswagen just as good as a Porsche? Is a Mini Cooper just as good as a Ford Mustang? The pictures on the thumbnail are my cars. Do they compare? Eh, they each have their own little thing. They each have something that you like. You have performance, you have look, you have you have speed, then you have dollar amount. So same thing with instruments. Um, Shout out quick to my mechanic Dan Royster in Osma. He services Porsche, BMWs, all Cadillacs, Mercedes. So he works on my cars. Great guy. His card is on the thumbnail. I was going to bring the card in and show it to you, but I forgot it because I'm a bonehead. So maybe while I'm in between guitars, my daughter can run and get the cards. It's in a rubber band on the top shelf of the computer, and it's either the first or second one, and bring it back to me very quietly. So my daughter Shelby, before she ships out to the Air Force in a couple of days, boo-hoo, it's going to be tragic. It's going to be a heartache when she's gone. She's going to help me out. But like her mother, she's shy and she doesn't want to be in the film, in the camera. So you might just see an arm or a hand here or there. And she might not speak at all. Um, I'm going to start with my favorite guitar, the guitar that I think started it all for me and completely flip-flopped from Stratocaster. I dabbled a little bit in Telecasters, but went head on into Les Paul, single cut LP Les Paul copies. And it's this one here. And this is, again, the one that I pick up every day. I pick up mostly more than anything else that I have. And I'm going to show you the different guitars and what you get for your money. Now, regretfully, the only one that I have not in this video is a real USA Gibson Les Paul. I have been looking for them. I still look for a nice one. But whether I find a studio or a, I forget the other brand, but standard, custom, they're still way overpriced. Trying to find a used one is just still, to me, it's crazy. It's crazy money. And unfortunately, I don't have the original Gibsons that I had. And I did have a bunch. I did have a USA Standard. I had a USA Custom. I had a 68 Custom Shop Custom. I had a 57 limited edition, limited run Custom Shop Les Paul. I had a custom Explorer, and I had a 1980s custom V with an ebony fingerboard. So yeah, I did have them at one time, but I wasn't hooked on them as I am now. And this is the one that started all. This is, and I caught a lot of slack over this, and a lot of people know it already. It says Gibson on the headstock, but it is not a Gibson. This is a 59 Greeny replica. And when I got it from the first video that I made on this guitar to the last video I made on this guitar, I took every photograph I can get from Greeny Moore's guitar that Gary Moore played and made the guitar famous, and made it exactly like a duplicate copy. Every little thing, every little scratch, nook and cranny, removing everything. So if you want to learn more about that, you can go to the video where it shows different ones that you could buy, because I bought this one from China, AliExpress, and it was supposed to be a 59 Greeny Moore distressed relic, and it wasn't 100%, and I had to tweak it, but it was supposed to come with a black headstock. And my game plan was to put either a Chibson head label up here or Greeny Moore 59. And it did say Les Paul, and I wiped the Les Paul out. It took me two tries and went from Gugon to Super Gugon, but you could still see it had some kind of script there. You could see a dull spot. That's fine. Well, you could also see the way I made it look like the headstock was cracked, just like the real deal. So when I got the Chibson label made up from a guy at the Oldsmar Flea Market here in Florida with my Greeny Moore 59, I went to put it over the label, and you could see right through it. I guess I should have seen if he could make one with a black backing, but I couldn't cover the Gibson. And everyone's telling me don't worry about it. And a lot of my friends are saying don't worry about it. And a couple of my buddies that are professional musicians are saying if someone's got a problem with it, let them deal with it. So I did attempt to put it on, and because it didn't look good, because you could read both writings, I slid it off and I put both decals on the back of the guitar. So I'm not trying to pawn it off as a real deal 59 Les Paul or a real Gibson for that matter. And as you can see, it doesn't have the Made in USA stamp with a bogus serial number on the back, which a lot of them do. Those I feel are like counterfeit guitars instead of a relic or a copycat or a replica, I should say. Let's just say that. So that's what I did on the back of that. And, you know, again, I just did a little extra work on this here guitar. So that's what got me started. Then from there, I guess I was going to go in a certain order. But from there, I got hooked into looking at guitars on Amazon. So if you could hand me that red Leo James. Thank you, love. So this is one, you want to grab that card real quick? This is one of the Amazon, sold on Amazon, Leo James guitars. And as you can see on a lot of them that I have, and if they don't have them already, I will be replacing them. I put locking tuners. I put Geiger locking tuners if I don't have a guitar with locking tuners. I did it with the Greeny Moore. I just made sure that the key ends matched what's supposed to look like. These key ends are supposed to look like Grover key ends, so they do. But these here are the Geiger locking tuners. And the pickups were just okay. They were good enough to play, but I didn't like them. And if you want to have a guitar that you could just play in a bedroom, but go and play out somewhere or jam with buddies, you want good sounding pickups. You don't want microphonic pickups. You don't want feedback. So I changed the pickups. But this here guitar from Amazon, when I purchased it, it was $179. Then it went down to $169. I made a video or two on this guitar, and now they're sold out. What I love about this guitar is it's super thin. You can tell by the jack having just enough room. It does have a true tiger maple veneer top. I changed the knobs because that's what I like to do. This has an ebony fingerboard. So think about it. Leo James, LP model with an ebony fingerboard. 179 went down to 169. Now, they didn't say it's discontinued. They just said temporarily out of stock. It may go to discontinued. But if you had a chance to grab one of these, you're lucky. The back of it, it's all mahogany. You also have a belly cut, which I thought was super cool. So it's a three-piece mahogany back, right? You have your mahogany set neck with a scarf joint, or what I call a spacer. Someone got nasty with the comment saying it's not a spacer, it's a scarf joint. Okay, well, there's a bit of wood that was added from the neck to the heel that's glued into the body. Other than that, it's a one-piece neck, except for that little space glued in. It's a lightweight guitar. It plays beautifully. It sounds great. No problems with the frets whatsoever. Now I'm going to switch over to when I went from Amazon guitars, and I don't have the IYV Les Paul. I have an IYV, the Paul Reed Smith copy, which Amazon has two of my videos. One, when you look for that guitar, I guess IYV posted it to their ad to help sell the guitars. But if you look at when it gets down to videos, that's two of my videos, me playing that guitar. I don't have an IYV Les Paul. So I apologize for that. But they're another great brand from Amazon. And then from there, I got turned on to Harley Benton. So this is going to be a long video. So if you want to pause it and get a snack and something to drink, I'm going to go over everything. Now, the key ends are the same key ends that were on the guitar, but then again, I put Geiger locking tuners. So you can get Geiger locking tuners in different styles and different mat. This has the vintage double end, double screw, top and bottom, that's locking. They do have them where they look just like the Grovers. They have them where they're either centered or to the left. So Geiger, it's a very inexpensive, very good locking tuner for the money. And I put them on every guitar if I don't already have it. So with this thing here, and I've had a couple, maybe 15 plus Harley Bentons. This one is their, I forget what they called it, the color, but this is I believe it's a AAA flame maple top, 1/4 of an inch, not a veneer. I just changed the knobs again because I like fat knobs and I don't know why. That's the headstock. This comes with 22 stainless steel, blacksmith stainless steel frets, chambered body, Tesla pickups. These pickups sound amazing. They sound so good. The Tesla pickups sound so good. Those are the two that I replaced in the Leo James. I found them on sale on Amazon, and they were like $50, $60 a pickup, and they sound great. So you have that. You have this cutaway in the back here, this S shape, so you can get down to those lower frets. And these are selling for $266. Now, granted, anytime you buy something from Amazon, you're going to be, from Harley Benton. I can't get through a video without making a mistake. You're going to be paying 70 odd plus dollars for shipping. And it pays to buy two guitars. They're so inexpensive. For the price of two, you're paying for the same shipping. That's my point. Why have one guitar sent to you for $70, $80 when I can have two guitars sent to me for $70, $80? And for what they go for, you can get a decent Harley Benton anywhere from 100, 150, 200, 250, all the way up to $400 and change, and still get a great instrument. They've been around for a long time. So the fact that you have stainless steel frets that's going to last forever on a chambered Les Paul style guitar with a true proper flame maple top on here with Tesla pickups, you just can't go wrong. This was a B stock, so instead of paying 266, I paid 205 for this, and all it had on it was a blemish. It was like a dull spot in the neck, and I had a bunch of marks back here. But the marks, the more I rubbed them, the marks came off, and I just taped off the neck from head to top, from neck to heel, I should say. You can see it, and I just took 1,000 grit sandpaper, and then I took stainless steel 000, and then I just put my oil. I don't remember if I put my gun stock oil on there, um, or not, but I just, and it's like a nice slick satin neck, and I don't see that little blemish. So for $205, that was it. And I had purchased probably half of my guitars from Harley Benton were all B stocks, and I never really had an issue with them. I would have to look, I would have to put on a stronger pair of reading glasses to find something. And that's what I did when I found that. So, and the other thing was just that the border just dips right here by this dot right there. The border just goes like that, just a little bit. But that's it. So yeah, this thing here, Harley Benton, pound for pound for the money, I still believe is the best guitar out there, and you can't beat it. And there's so many forums now on Facebook and different, Harley Benton Owners Club and Harley Benton Club and this and that. That these are becoming a hot item, and this company's been selling these guitars for 25 years now. So it's not like they just started yesterday. So I'm going to switch over from here, because then I started getting a little silly, and I stumbled across the Vintage brand. So again, this had like Grover tuners on it, and I just replaced them with the same key ends to look like Grover, but again, they're the Geico, and that's spelled Gyker, locking tuners. There you have it. This is a company, the Vintage brand is a company from the UK, and they've been around for a long time as well. I don't know if they've been around for 10, 20 years. I don't remember. I know I have a lot of subscribers from the UK that give me a lot of information on this guitar, because I don't know that much about it. But, I just don't remember. You know me with my memory. I'm trying to remember what I had for dinner last night. So this one here is my Ace Frehley guitar. It's the limited edition. It's the second time they ran it. It's the first one that they had with the 3 pickups was in black, and this was their limited edition. It's another name for it, that they ran with this Tiger Maple, and I believe it's a veneer top, cherry burst on here with Wilkinson pickups, and they all the whole thing sounds great. What's special about this guitar is you leave it in the middle, and you have a volume for the neck, a volume for the tone, and a volume for the middle pickup. And let me start it over again. A volume for the neck, volume for the bridge, volume for the middle, and then the tone for all 3. If you leave it in the middle, then you can control each pickup individually, which is the way I run it. So if I want the bridge pickup, I have that on all the way. If I want to turn that off and then put the neck pickup on, I'll do it like that. Same thing with the middle. You could also blend the two or three together, however you want to do it. I basically use the bridge pickup, and sometimes I'll use either the neck or the middle pickup, sometimes just to thicken it up just a little bit more. But that's what's great about this guitar. Um, these are pretty pricey though. These 5 to 700 brand new, used. They're anywhere from 4 to 500. I think I think the cheapest one I've seen maybe was 350 for plain Jane vintage, and that was rare. But because these are used, like 3 to 500 still. New 6 to 700. You do come across one once in a while. They do sell on Amazon for 5 and change, depending on what the model is. This is the vintage V1003 limited edition Ace Frehley. It's lightweight, sounds great, it plays great. The standard 22 frets. The fingerboard almost looks to me like it's ebony. I don't remember if it said it was regular rosewood or the laurel rosewood, but it looks and feels like it's ebony. And the one thing about vintage is I just don't like the sharp point on the heel. I want it round. So I did have the Gary Moore distressed model, but comparing it to my Chinese made Chibson, it didn't compare. So that speaks volumes. But this with the three pickups, is super cool. I love it. So going from vintage to the Agile. Agile again has been around for, I think, about 20 years. I think he started in 98. Rondo's Music. And I think he started with the 2000 series, and it went to 2500, and then the 3000, which is behind me. And this one is their newer version. And this is one of the rare times I actually bought a brand new guitar. This is their AL-3200 MCC. Now, this has a ebony fingerboard. It's got 22 hand filed and polished frets with true mother of pearl trapezoid inlays. All right. It comes with Grover tuners, and it's, if you could see it, it's a 5-piece neck through body design. So you've got what you have on mostly all LPs. In the middle, you've got maple, walnut. So, and then the curve down here is just, look at that. Look how sweet that is. Get you all the way there. You could actually play off the pickup if you wanted to. It's got a flute on the back, just like they do on the Harley Bentons. I don't know if I showed that or not, which again, I think that it gives the neck more stability, less chance of it snapping off, and more sustain. So this has just like the Harley Benton, I failed to mention the Graphtec nut. So this one here, you've got coil taps. Don't need it. This is a 3/4 inch quilted maple top, the real deal, no veneer. So the fact that you have a 5-piece neck through, which is almost like the PRS IYV that I have on the guitar from top to bottom, just makes this super unique. The pickups sound great. So Again, my thought on here, as much as I enjoy the guitar, and I failed to mention, it's got a belly cut. Yeah. These are pricey. These are five and change, brand new, $5.99 to $600, brand new, free shipping, but you're paying tax. So I got turned on by these guitars because of the used one I have behind me, which I'll probably grab right now just because of keeping it within the family. So this one here, this is the first one that I came across used. I traded an amplifier at the Guitar Center in Tampa. My main man there is Al, tall guy with long blonde hair and glasses. I've known him since 2016. I think he said he worked there since 2002. So he's a lifer. And this comes with proper Grover tuners. You can see, unlike the blue one that I showed you, the light blue, it has an ebony fingerboard, but this one has abalone trapezoids. And you don't have a trapezoid at the first fret as you do on the other one. These pickups are like screaming pickups. I would consider them to be like the the Damasio super distortion pickups. They sound great. And this again, this is a true quilted maple top on here. And all I did was change the knobs because I think I like fatter knobs, and I think they match the guitar better. And it's your standard body, standard thickness. It's thicker than the one I just showed you. That one's thinner. And I just put that decal on the back because it looks cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm on. I can't hang it back up at this point. So this was the next one. This was my other Amazon guitar. Now, they were selling a lot of these, and you could find them on Reverb if you're lucky, or you can go on, they changed the name from Bad Cat to, I don't even want to pronounce it and come off, saying it the wrong way. But this thing here was brand new, $295 from Amazon. And this is as close to a 59, the way he built it, LP. And I've only played reissue 59 Les Pauls. I have a friend, another professional musician, that's got a couple. I think he's got two or three of the real deal. And he said if I ever come to visit him, I could play him. He wanted me to work for him at one time when I was leaving Long Island, and I'm afraid to because I don't want to play something and then fall in love with it and never have it. So this thing here is as close, in my opinion, as a 59 LP guitar, and I'm only comparing it to the reissue. So same thing, it had the Grover S tuners, and I just put the Geiger locking tuners on it. And it doesn't say where it's made. Now, all of these guitars that I'm showing you that are in here are not made in the United States. They're made overseas. They're made in either South Korea, Taiwan, China, Indonesia, Vietnam. So I don't have anything that I remember that's made in Mexico, but it's not the point of where it's made, it's just how it's made. If you're going to get a good quality instrument that looks, sounds, plays amazing, and you're happy with it, and you like looking at it and playing it every day, and it makes you want to pick it up, you don't have to spend a fortune. Again, unless you're a purist Gibson snob, and you want to just say, oh, that's a hunk of junk. These are not made by 11-year-old girls in a Chinese sweatshop. They got a lot of comments about that. These are people that are just like you and I, living in a country, trying to live their life and make a living and doing the best they can. And, you know, that's how they get by. The fact that you can get such a great quality instrument for a whole lot less is because not only is the labor cheaper there, but the everything that you get from there is cheaper for them to get. And to be perfectly honest, all of these guitars are coming out of the same building, the same factory, the same manufacturing warehouse as the Epiphones and everything else. So, yeah. This thing here is the only thing I did was, again, is I have, because of the 59 knobs with the pins on it, I changed the pickups. They had chrome covered pickups on here, and again, they just weren't loud enough. So I put these, I think they're Eruption uh, Eddie Van Halen pickups in here, the Zebras, and this guitar just screams, and it's got a mojo to it. It I'll play stuff off of this guitar that I won't play off of other guitars. It inspires me somehow. So I could hang this one. No, you could hang that one up, and I can grab what I just mentioned, the Epiphone. Yeah, Epiphones made in China. It says it right there on the back. All the guys that scream about all the other guitars, especially my Chibson, they don't you don't hear a peep from them about the Epiphones being made in China in the same under the same roof. That's why you're getting the same quality guitar. On this one here, this is their modern, their Epiphone modern, where they changed the headstock, made it more like the book, the open book headstock, to resemble back in the day where they were making USA Gibson and Epiphones out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, I think it was, under the same roof. So they're trying to, they're saying it's Gibson inspired Epiphone. But with this thing here, you get what I believe was, again, a Graphtec nut, an ebony fingerboard. The trapezoids are plastic. I don't. I think they're like a copy of a mother of pearl, but nothing like a mother of pearl. That why couldn't they put mother of pearl or abalone in there? But they got plastic in there. No stainless steel frets on this guitar. You do have that lovely cutaway to get to the bottom of the neck there, the lower frets. No belly cut, which would be nice. The Muse has a belly cut, but I don't believe the Muse has this beveled, contoured. So it's either you want one or the other. How about this? How about putting them all together? How about giving you a Epiphone with locking Grover tuners, ebony fingerboard, either a real mother of pearl or abalone inlays, with stainless steel frets, because if full companies can do it cheaper, why can't Epiphone? And this, with this cutaway and with a belly cut. So they're like, oh, if you want the cutaway, you got to get them on. And if you want the belly cut, you got to get a Muse. How about putting everything together? You want to stick with the traditional Les Paul, just make a reissue or copy the 59. And instead of saying it's a 59 reissue, so you could charge thousands of dollars, just make them all like you made the 59, because for Gibson purists, that's the holy grail of guitars. That's like the Stradivarius of a violin. And then make the modern, make the newer version, just like how Fender has, their Super Strats. And they couldn't even get everything they wanted. So now, because they own Chauvel can give you a super strat where everything you want will be on one guitar. Why can't they do that with Epiphone? Why can't they do it with Gibson? So I believe this is chambered. This has a tiger maple veneer, not a proper cap, a veneer. I just changed the knobs because this has the phase, and then it has coil splitting. To split the humbuckers to single coil, which I never use. But these knobs that I bought from Amazon, when they go on, they snap. So you push them on and then they snap. The original ones, every time, and I only use the phaser on here because it gives me the same out of phase as my Greeny Moore, my 59 Greeny Moore Chibson. I would always pull the knob off. So I thought these knobs not only look better and cooler and match the guitar, because this is like a magma, what they call magma burst on here. I could operate them and I could actually pull them without pulling the whole knob off. And I did try splitting with a screwdriver, splitting, um, the piece that was coming up, and it wasn't working. Other than putting a drop of glue in there, which I didn't really want to do. Now, what you have with the Epiphone that's supposed to be so great is you have the neck that's attached. Sorry, you had to have the headstock that's attached to the neck. You have the neck that's glued into the body, but again, it's got a scarf joint. It's got a little piece of wood to fit in there. Now, you don't see that on a Harley Benton. It doesn't have stainless steel frets. You have your pro buckers, blues buckers, mother trucker pickups, whatever they are. They sound good. I'm not going to complain. They do sound really good. And with this particular model, when you do the out of phase, you don't just have to be in the middle. You could be in the neck or in the bridge position, and kind of get that out of phase, quacky, um, you know, sound out of it. But you also have to remember you have to roll back on the volume knobs in order to do that. If you have them maxed out and you go to do the out of phase, you'll get more response if you just roll back on the volume knobs. I have to step out of the camera for a minute to grab this one, Mitchell. Another great guitar. This has wood boarding, uh, um, boarding, border all the way around. It almost looks like tiger maple going all the way around the body. This has a quilted maple, I think it's a veneer. I don't really remember. I'm not going to say it's a cap unless I know for sure, but I think but still, it's a quilted maple veneer on here. This is super thin. You've got a nice archway here. You've got a nice cutaway here. It strings through, so it's like a Telecaster. You get great sustain and great tone. I just changed the knobs again, and then what do we have here? We have a coil tap, or coil split. People have a fit about that. So I could split the humbucker into a single coil, but I never do. I just change the knobs because I think they match the guitar a lot better than the ones that were on here. 22 standard frets. I believe this is either a rosewood fingerboard or the Paul Farrow fingerboard. With it looks like an animal scratched the fretboard as the inlays. And this one comes with real locking tuners, proper locking tuners. So you can see the scarf joint here. And on here, the neck doesn't have a scarf. The neck is one piece, except for the part where the headstock is attached to the neck. This is all one solid piece glued into the heel of the body. And you've got a belly cut here, and you've got this lovely cutaway. So, and with this, because it is a little different, the horn being as sharp as it is, doesn't bother me as much because it is a total different beast of a guitar. And when I first came across these, when they first came out in the 90s, they looked great, but they were junk. They were crap. I think just like throughout the years, and again, this one here is handcrafted in China, and handcrafted it is. It's a nice thin body. It's lightweight. I think the longer the longer they manufacture these, the better quality, the better they hone their skills, and the better the guitar, you can get. I happen to trade a guitar for this guitar, but I've seen, this is a 400 series. I've seen a 450 on sale for $149 on Guitar Center's website. And since a video or two of this guitar, now you can't even find them. You could find them used. You can find them on their used gear page. You might stumble across one in a Guitar Center. I do see these again. I've seen it in the Guitar Center in Tampa and in Clearwater here in Florida. And they still want like $299, $259 for these guitars. And even at that price, and look, you even got the jack that goes in on the side, like the Joe Satriani Ibanez kind of thing. I think it's a great guitar. And compared to when they first came out, now, I could boast about it and say, you see one of these, grab it, pick it up, play it, and I guarantee you'll bring it home. Or if you're curious about it, buy one off their Guitar Center used gear page, and you have 45 days. Worst case scenario, you lose out on the shipping. And I'm a platinum customer. Most of the times I don't get charged shipping, but when I do, it's like $23. So if I really don't like the guitar for $23, I'll bring it back. So I'm going to step out of, I just leave it here for now. So I don't step out of the picture. Going back to Epiphone. Now, this one here, and I failed to mention that on the Modern, it's got a asymmetrical neck. So does this one, but this one isn't as in-depth as that one. What that means is all of them are thin 60s necks. Every single guitar I showed you. The difference with the asymmetrical is that when you get down around the back of the neck to the higher strings, it's thinner. And it was from what I read, Jimmy Page had his guitar tech sand down his 259 Les Pauls for that reason, because I guess he had smaller hands or whatever it was. You feel it a lot more when you play the Modern. You notice it right away. It takes a minute or two, and then you're comfortable with it. I have to be honest with you. This one, as soon as I picked it up, it felt like, and I've said it on many videos, it feels like I've been playing this guitar for years. The asymmetrical neck isn't as severe as that one, but it's still there and it feels great. So on here, I've got real proper Grover tuners. Now, again, why can't they put locking Grover tuners on here? When this first came out on this model, this is a 2019. Now, I did buy a 2023 with the ebony fingerboard, and as much as I enjoyed it, I felt guilty having two of the same guitars. And I thought the Rosewood, when they first came out with these, like I would say to myself, if it's going to represent a custom with the square inlays, why not give it an ebony fingerboard? And why make it Rosewood? But this Rosewood not only looks, it's got a nice grain to it, but it sounds good, it plays good, and the frets are nice. Not stainless steel. I believe it came again with a Graphtec nut, but just like the other Epiphone I didn't show you, the nut protrudes past the neck. So you've got the headstock glued onto the neck. Then you have the neck with another scarf or fill-in joint here glued into the body. Again, you don't get that on the Harley Bentons. This one here has, I think it's a 3-piece mahogany. All of them have mahogany bodies, if I failed to mention that, especially the Algili, Agile guitar. Even though you have maple, walnut, maple, you have maple, walnut, maple, walnut, maple. The sides are mahogany. The difference with this one here is that this is a color top. I removed the pick guard, or as my friends in London, UK would say, scratch plate, because I think it looks better. You see more of the wood. This is a Custom Pro. So with the Les Paul Custom Pro, much to my surprise, you've got splittable pickups, and you have the phaser switch on here as well. Now, when you go to the neck and the bridge with the phaser on, even when you roll back on a volume, you don't hear it as much as you do with the modern or as my 59 Greeny more Chibson. You do hear it. You hear it more. It's the stronger sound is when it is in the middle. But to have just that phaser on there, to me, was just a plus. You know, it was just like a step up. But again, it's all pieced together, you know, for an Epiphone. So same thing. Why not give you locking Grover tuners? Why not give you an ebony fingerboard? Why not give you real mother of pearl inlays, or if anything, abalone? Why not give you stainless steel frets? Again, it's the Pro Buckers, you know, Blues Buckers, Hum Truckers, whatever pickups that sound good. They really do sound good. Standard 3-way Tago. And like I said, you know, the mahogany top. The back on here, you know, I've been getting into putting dragons on the back of my guitars. And I'm gone crazy. I've got other stencils that I have to put on. And I'm doing it not only because I love dragons. It's part of, you know, Viking Norwegians, their heritage is the dragon and the wolf. So I'm more of a dragon guy because it's also links with martial arts. But I'm putting them on because I want to, if I put a stencil on it, a decal, I know I'm never going to sell it then. And this one here did have some buckle rash. So it kind of covered the buckle rash. At the same time, it kind of looks cool. So, and the same thing I did with the other Agile, the blue one. I put the dragon on the back of that because as soon as I brought it home and I played it, I'm like, I have to make sure I never sell this guitar, because you know what happens. It's a romance. You fall in love with the guitar, and then the honeymoon is over after a month or three, month or three, and then you're like, you know, do I really need that guitar? Maybe I'll sell it. And you put it on Craigslist, and then it's gone. And then shortly thereafter, you're kicking yourself, saying, I wish I never did that. So I think I actually showed all the Les Pauls. I don't have one Strat hanging out, and I don't have one Telly, and my other IYV, Paul Reed Smith copy, along with I have 2 BC Rich guitars. I have an Eagle and I have a Mockingbird. That's all color. Not as heavy as this one, you know. No, sorry, heavier than this one. This one's pretty light. But the Agile that I showed you, that's solid neck through, that's even got a thinner body, that thing weighs a ton. It's 15 pounds. So the Epiphone guitars, the Epiphone Modern, they go for like $6.99. These go for $7.49. Used, These go for between 550 and six and change. The modern used goes for about 550, almost sometimes around the 600. You might see them for like 599, 575. Again, on Guitar Center's used gear page. Um, I happened to, again, this was $499, and I did a trade, so it didn't cost me anything. The modern I bought, it was one of those. It was a new guitar that it was an open box, so I got that for 440, and that was a steal. And I think they're great. So if you're into them and you like them, my advice is to buy them used. They're not worth new. To me, you're paying for the Epiphone name. And the way I showed you, the way it's all pieced together, I mean, you can get any one of these other guitars that are solid guitars, that have a solid neck and a solid body, you know, a solid mahogany neck with a solid mahogany body. No piecing here and piecing there. And you can get everything you want on the guitar. And why Epiphone, again, can't give you locking tuners and better quality control, because the modern has locking tuners and they still wind the strings around. Quality control is a little off on that one. But why can't every guitar have stainless steel frets? I'm spoiled. See what Harley Benton did to me and probably 1,000 other people. So yeah, if you're into, you know, you love your Epiphones, and I did have another Epiphone. I had the 60s standard. First one I had a cracked headstock. I brought it back, and that's when I made the deal on the Blue Agile by trading my Fender amp for it. I brought that one home, and I was playing it, and I liked it a lot. I really did, until I looked up the Rondo's music website and then found the one that's the solid neck through, and said, well, you know, the other one is 500-600 bucks. This one's again 500-600 bucks. Which do I want? I wish I can keep them both, but I thought the Agile with the neck through design with an ebony fingerboard and real pearl, you know, trapezoid inlays on a proper 3/4 inch quilted maple top. I just thought, pound for pound, it just blows away the blue Epiphone that I had. Now, if I stumble across that same 60s standard blue Epiphone for like three and change, I might just grab it because I thought it looked cool and sounded cool, and you know, I liked the color, and it played well. But just like having two of these, I was like, do I need two of the same kind of guitars that look the same? I try to get my guitars to look a little bit different. I don't like them all looking exactly the same with the same kind of sunburst or cherry burst or, you know, whatever. I try to mix it up a little bit. So that's all I got to say about that. The last shout out, again, I have to turn off the light for you to read it, is my mechanic, Dan Royster Auto. Did I pronounce that correctly? In Oldsmar. So you want to pause it. If you have a Porsche or BMW, Mercedes, Cadillac, Lexus, any I'm sure he works on anything or could work on anything, but he mainly works on high-end guitar cars. And like I said, just like a Porsche and a Ford Mustang, and as the pictures that you see, the Mini Cooper, you've got one from Germany, one from England, and one made here. And it's all preference. It's all what you like and what you're willing to deal with and what you're willing to spend money on, and that's it. So, you know, cars and guitars, right? Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm sorry it's super long. Let me see, almost an hour, 54 minutes. Let me see if I can shut it down before it gets to 55. Have a good day and a better tomorrow. And it's not. Come on. Adios, amigos. Bios con Dios, muchachos, señorita, compañero.